Welcome back to the podcast. Today, I'm chatting with Paul and Beth from the Demize family, full-time UK resellers who hunt for hidden treasures at car boot sales and charity shops, and then flip those finds online and at Comic Cons across the country. Whether it's collectibles, pop culture, niche, fandom gear, they know how to spot it and to sell it. We're going to dive into how they run their business as a couple, the ups and downs of selling at events, and what it really takes to make a reselling living full time. Let's go. Hey, I'm Car Boot Chris. I'm a full-time UK online reseller. I operate mainly on eBay and also Whatnot, but also some other platforms as well. I'm going to bring you regular podcasts all about reselling, hopefully to keep you company, to entertain, or maybe to educate. Who knows? Welcome to the Everything Reselling Podcast. Hey, welcome back, everybody. It is Series 5, Episode 9 of the podcast. We're nearly at the end of Series 5, which has gone really quickly. But thank you for joining us today. And thank you for listening. If you're on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, or anything like that, that's great. Please hit that download button. Before we get cracking with our guest today, a big shout to our sponsors, Fleek, the online wholesale marketplace. And this is what Fleek are all about. A big thank you to Fleek, also known as Join Fleek, who are sponsoring the podcast for this series. So thank you so much for that. Fleek are an online marketplace where wholesalers can sell their job lots, bundles, and bales of wholesale vintage clothing. Just like eBay is a marketplace for people like me to sell new and pre-owned goods, Fleek is a marketplace for people who sell wholesale vintage clothing from around the world. A couple of little tips from me for buying from Fleek. Well, firstly, have a look at the listings, and I always try to buy from someone who has a video on the listing, but the video is the actual items for sale, not a representative. Some will say this is a representative, some will say these are the actual items. I always go for the actual items. Try and buy from people in Pakistan or India, and that is because there'll be no import charges and the shipping is included. You can also do a video handpick. If you contact a supplier, tell them what you're looking for, you can do a video handpick. If you do decide to buy from Fleek, I can give you a code that will give you £26 off your order. The code's in the description below of both the podcast and on YouTube, and you can see it on screen right now. And thank you again for Fleek for sponsoring the podcast. It's really useful when you can get a sponsor for something like this, because it does cost me money to put on this podcast. When I cast this over to Spotify, Apple Music and stuff, that's not free. I have to pay for that service. So it's great that we get a sponsor, because it really helps do that. It's not just about a money grab. It's nice to get a bit of money though, because we are resellers and we like to earn a bit of money. Anyway, I'm going to introduce Paul and Beth, otherwise known as the Demize family. Welcome, guys.
Hello. Hi.
Thank you so much for reaching out to me and sort of talking about the podcast and the fact that you'd like to come on. And before you reached out, I'd not actually seen much of your content, and that's not by design. It's just I just didn't know you were out there. It's not been suggested to me on YouTube or anything, but I have now, and I'm really enjoying it.
Oh, that's good to know. Thank you. Glad
yeah, great stuff. Do you want to give yourself a bit of an introduction?
You do it. You're the
not me to the
guy.
videos, so I guess I'll do it again. Well, I'm Dambo, and this is Beth Demize, husband and wife, resellers since around 2009. So we're going way back, aren't we? And that originally started on York Market, which is now called the Shambles Market in the town centre of York.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I was pregnant with my first child, and my job started to make my hours lower and lower because I was on a 0-hour contract, and so I just started putting things together and selling things on eBay, and we just decided let's do it full time.
It evolved from there. It literally went from us talking about it one evening to jumping straight out onto the market, didn't we? Onto the market stall. I think we originally wanted a shop, but that was just madness on the high street.
Yeah. Bit more of a commitment, that, isn't it?
And
we
then
do silly things like that.
yeah, we'll have an idea and we'll just go with it.
Yeah.
So we started on there with just a suitcase of stock, wheeling that in every day.
Yeah, neither of us could even drive, so we had to go on the bus.
Bloody hell.
And then it ended up being like 3 or 4 suitcases until I was banned from getting on the bus because I had too much stuff. And then it became a taxi. I know, yeah. The bus was like, you've got too much stuff. Keep getting on every day. So then we was taxiing in, and then eventually upgraded to a car. And then how it went on the market, it was great. And in the beginning, we got established on the market stall, and then obviously, like everywhere, the decline in markets as things changed and evolved. Online shopping became more popular. The decline in the high street. With York, it's always been pretty good with it being a historical town, a big tourist attraction. So the Shambles market's always been pretty established, hasn't it?
Yeah, but one day we made 50p, so we decided we were going to have to find another
that was
way.
only because they redesigned the market. They got a big grant and they put everyone onto the high street. I don't know if you know York, do you?
Not really.
Oh, they put us all onto the main street, which was amazing for a year while they revamped the market. And we actually took on a unit in the market kind of thing, like a lockup unit to sell from.
Yeah.
And then when we got back in there, it wasn't very well established because it was like a new area, which has now become the food court. It's amazing now. But when we took it on back then, it was like being open in like a dark alleyway kind of thing. Like no one knew it was there. So it was a struggle, wasn't it? But if we had it now, if we still had it now, it'd be great.
It'd be all right. Yeah.
But we had a Comic-Con come to York that year, and we were like, let's go there
yeah,
instead.
So
and then we
did that first event in York, which was run by Unleashed Events at the racecourse. And ever since then, that's when you get the bug. They call it the Comic-Con bug.
Right.
You've been to one or sold at one. Once you've been to one, that's it. You probably go to the rest of your life kind of thing.
Yeah, fair enough.
The take-ins were great, and we loved it. And we were like, "What are we doing? Let's just do this."
Yeah.
So we made the decision to leave the market, didn't we?
Yeah,
and moved on.
Online and Comic-Cons. That's it.
Sounds like a good combo. Just going back a bit, how did you introduce yourself? Did you say Paul?
Yeah, Paul. Dambo, please, if you don't mind.
Dambo.
Dambo. Dambo. Dambo.
Dambo.
Yeah.
Right. Hang on. I need to write this down because I will not remember. What's that all about?
Just my mum calls me Paul.
Dambo.
She's tuning in and watching, I think. The #1 fan.
Dambo. What is Dambo?
It's just shortened for my surname's Dambrauskas. So all of the males have always been called Dambo.
I thought to myself, when you introduced yourself, I thought, oh Christ, tell me I haven't got his name wrong right from the start.
No.
It's like disaster. Okay. So what made you first, let's go right back to the beginning of your reselling. So what made you first sort of go into that market stall thing? What was the impetus for that?
Well, I was just selling bits online when I was at home pregnant, and it's just because we were making money on eBay, and I was making jewelry at the time, and I just had so much of it.
Yeah.
We just thought, well, why don't we just go get like a little shop? And that was too hard to do.
Yeah.
So when we saw the market and how easy it was to get on the market, we were just like, well, let's just do that.
Yeah, Beth had built up a decent amount of stock, and we bought in some stock as well, and just went for it. Like one day became 2 days a week, and then we got a contract to 3 days a week, and then it became 4 or 5 days a week, including we'd worked our way up and got like a really good pitch, bit of a pecking order on the market. Do you know what I mean? Like just get the best stalls, and we managed to get in there because we had a different kind of thing. No one was really selling what we were selling.
Right.
Alternative stuff, collectibles, and body jewelry and gift stuff.
Oh, okay. Like alternative. When you say alternative stuff, what kind of things you talking about?
Your rock and pop merch,
right?
Yeah, like t-shirts, spiky wristbands.
Yeah, all the cool like emo.
Was it all brand new sort of wholesale stuff, or did you source this from?
None of it was used at this time. We weren't selling used goods at that point. But
you have a couple of collectible bits.
Yeah, the collectibles had to be because you can't buy a retro collectible new, can you? It's already used kind of thing.
True.
But that's because you were already a collector, so we just had like bits anyway.
And then as time progressed, it became more of, it was Demize back then, but then towards the end of the market, our time on the market, it became Demize Collectibles while we were still there, and we just had more stuff that we enjoyed selling, didn't we? And it wasn't until, well, we always sourced as well at that point at car boot sales, toy fairs, and Comic Cons. And it wasn't until we were like, we're out at the boot sale, we're like, why aren't we buying this other stuff that's there in front of us? We'd always see something and go, oh, that's a great price, someone's going to love that. But we'd never pick it up, would we?
Yeah, the other bits, apart from collectibles, has only been in like the last 2 years.
Right.
It's crazy that for so long we were going and sourcing and just leaving it.
We were only selling those types of items up until a couple of years ago, weren't we? But now we're like an everything reseller now.
You pretty much pick up anything and everything.
To an extent. I think like we have to kind of be interested in it.
Yeah.
Because there's stuff that we know could sell, but we just don't have any real interest or knowledge with it. So we'll just leave it. Like a lot of
antiques,
football shirts, antiques, things like that. Like we know that they probably would sell really well, but I think if you're not interested in researching it, it's just going to become a death pile item. So.
Death pile of antiques.
I think there's always some things that we all sort of avoid for whatever reason. You know, I don't really like picking up Lego, although you will have seen, you know, if you watch the video on the channel, I did pick up a shitload of Lego recently, which I was talked into buying.
It's just a headache. It's the time.
And I have not touched it. It's still up in the loft. So yeah, there's certain things we all kind of avoid, or just because we don't know about it, we're not knowledgeable enough, or we just don't like dealing with it. You know, that's fine. So your market stall sort of ended up evolving into you selling online, going to Comic Cons, and mixing those two together. Do you think is it like right now? Is it kind of, what's the split between those two things in your business?
That's a good question, because the Comic Cons, it's seasonal work. So the season is pretty much ramping up now for the best part up until it dies a death towards Christmas, because that industry is people buying, you know, to spend on themselves or for the collection kind of thing. So Comic Cons are great, but it only lasts so long the season.
Yeah.
So
That's a good point.
From November till like November to February, it's not really going on at all, is it?
They do exist.
There's nothing. I've kind of seen sort of things like horror events and stuff like that.
Yeah, we do a big one once a year, a really big one, the biggest in Europe, don't we?
Horror's one of our favourites. Yeah, it's really good. And we do.
I went to a good one in Manchester a couple of years ago. For the Love of Horror, it's
That's
called.
the one we do. That's the one.
Yeah.
That was really good. That.
Yeah,
I went to the For Love of Horror, For Love of Sci-Fi.
Yeah.
They're really good.
They're our favourite events.
That's all Monopoly events. We do all their big ones.
Oh, okay. So you literally go all around the country on these events?
Yeah, we do England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales.
You're kind of central, aren't you, anyway? So it's not like you're... Well, I mean, Scotland, you're bloody miles away, aren't you? And Ireland and that. But generally...
Aberdeen, that was too far.
Generally, you're kind of in the middle of England.
Yeah. I don't think we'll do Aberdeen again. It's just too far. And you can't get a boat there. I was hoping that you could jump on a ferry, but you can't.
What came first, online or Comic Cons? What?
Online, yeah. We always sold online.
But it was just eBay for quite a while, and then we started to diversify and go a bit everywhere.
Yeah, now that all the other platforms are out.
What platforms are you on now online? What ones?
Depop, Vinted,
Etsy.
Yeah. We've
done a little bit of Whatnot, but we weren't really a big fan of it. We've done 2 so far, but I mean, we can get into that if you like, or...
I have a bit of, I always say this, I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with Whatnot. You know, this happened last time. Bloody people ringing when I'm on a podcast. Naughty people. Right. So yeah, I have this love-hate relationship with it because I go through phases of doing like one a week, and then I'll have a bad one where everything goes for like £2, and I'll just think, I've had enough or whatnot. But then I come back again, and I think there is a place for that. And I'll be interested to see when eBay finally come out with the live selling. I think that'll be an interesting
definitely, yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of keeping whatnot in my back pocket, and I said to myself I'd do one a month, just as it's quite the thing is, and you'll know from Comic Cons, it's something like that, a relatively short period of time, the opportunity to sell a lot of stock and bring in some cash flow is pretty good.
It's there if you need it.
3 or 4 hours on whatnot, you can bring in, a fair few £100 and sell a lot of stock in one, even though it's lower value to what you used to getting for it.
Yeah, I think though once you've had the fees, like we ended up where we'd probably been better off.
We were like, once our time, and we were like, it's not really worth it, is it?
Yeah, it's definitely difficult. But
it was all low end sales when we did it as well, so
yeah,
it wasn't really worth it.
I think the most I've ever done in a whatnot show is £900 in one show, and that was in a Christmas period, so you're at peak time. So, but I think it's so unpredictable.
Yeah.
It is. I think it's really hard unless you're kind of like John, Luke, and Charlotte, who are absolutely
doing incredible, aren't they? Yeah,
they do an amazing job on whatnot. And there's a couple of others doing really well. It's very, very difficult to get a foothold on the platform.
If you can build the following, definitely.
Yeah, I think that's the thing.
Because after our second one, we had people, we had
a lot of people
more followers on there.
Yeah.
But it's just progression, isn't it? If you've got the time to put into it and do it.
I think there's far too many resellers versus like regular people on there. But I have seen some adverts on Vinted, not Vinted. I've seen some adverts on TikTok recently.
Yeah, that was surprising.
Regular people saying it's
a whatnot advert.
Yeah. Well, it's like they're obviously sponsored, so they're saying like, "Oh, this is my new favorite place to pick up clothes." So,
and here's where you can get a £10 free if you use my code. Yeah,
exactly.
But yeah, it's an interesting one. I think it's useful to have sort of there if you really want to sort of have a go at it. Do you follow Z?
What's Z?
No, is it here Malik? Do you know Z?
No, sorry. I think Z. Have you mentioned him on your channel before?
He's been on the channel. He's been on the podcast actually. But Z does Comic Cons and stuff as well, and toy fairs and stuff. He does a lot of the collectibles, a bit like you, and it's worth looking up. Z.
We might know him in real life.
Yeah, we might know him. We might have
Only Cool Stuff.
Trader.
Only Cool Stuff on. I think he's called Only Cool Stuff now on YouTube.
We'll have to have a look. We might know his face.
Yeah. Well, when we're at an event, we try and walk around, but normally, like the Saturday is just insane. You can't even leave the stall at a good show. And then Sunday, we'll try and get around a little bit if we can. But if it's another great show, you can't get away, can you?
You might be in one of our videos.
Yeah,
possibly. He does. I think he does. Well, he lives sort of Blackpool direction and Garstang, I think it is, and he is around there. But he has a YouTube channel and all sorts. So, yeah. Have a look at him.
It's pretty much the same kind of thing, isn't it? Instead of selling online and whatnot, we're doing exactly the same thing, but physically in a setting where everyone wants that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you're going to get higher end prices, aren't you?
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
you're in that captive audience where everybody is there because they're into that stuff. So, I love going to those events.
Yeah, we try to keep our prices as our eBay prices, though.
Yeah. I don't price hike stuff just for an event.
I think a lot of people do. They'll put all the prices of their things up because they know they can get it, but we just keep everything on the lower end. And
we'll have people come and physically find us at events as well if they know we're there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we're happy to do deals on the stall as well if people are buying bits and bobs.
Yeah.
Trade-ins as well. We offer people bring a bag of stuff in and we'll swap it out for something else. You know what I mean on the stall.
Yeah, definitely.
It's all good.
It offers more value for you guys as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have some people that'll come and come find us, and it'll like pay for their ticket for the day, so they'll
come and sell us some stuff.
Yeah,
we've got quite a lot of people that do that.
That's a great idea. Yeah, that's good. Talk us through then. Let's focus for a little while on the Comic Cons, because that's a big
Mhm.
part of what you do, and it's a really interesting aspect because we don't always get people on, that do Comic Cons. So, talk to us about preparing for an event, and what does it take to get through that, to prepare for an event?
That's what we're doing now.
Right now.
We've got Liverpool Comic Con is literally around the corner, which is a massive event for us.
When is that?
We did 2 a year.
Not this weekend, but next.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You can check it out online. The guest list is amazing. It always is for Liverpool. They go all out. It's a really big event. It's on the scale of like an American style one.
I might have a look because I'm not far from Liverpool.
It's really good.
It is,
Yeah, go on. Go through.
Ages to prepare, and we've just stupidly decided to do a stock take just before as well. So there's just stuff everywhere. We've been working flat out, haven't we, till like morning till bedtime, which is normal for us anyway. But it's just scanning in, checking barcodes. Because when we sell something on the stall, the POS, everything's barcoded, so it'll come off eBay, it'll come off Etsy, it'll come off every platform we sell on.
Oh,
so
wow.
You just got to put it into the system so that it knows if it sells on the stall, it's gone from everywhere as well.
Oh, that's good, isn't it? It was on my list to ask you, how do you manage it? Like, if you go to a Comic-Con, how do you manage when something sells? Like, if you're really busy and it's like bang, 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 before you know it, you might have missed something and not taken it down.
Yeah,
it's a good question. It does happen.
But we've just changed our cross-listing system, so now we have to barcode everything.
Yeah, we've got to re-upload all the barcodes. So, but we will get to see what's missing. So we'll be able to take some listings down, because stuff does sell that we can't find it, or we don't have anymore, and it's just slipped through, like what you're saying, or it's been stolen. So that does happen on the store.
That happens a lot.
Or a customer will put it in the complete wrong box where they got it from. I'll go and look for something days later, and it's in the Marvel box, or it's in the DC box. Because when we go and sell on the stall, we've pretty much got all our stock out, haven't we, for everyone to sift through? Yeah. And things will just get placed all over the place sometimes.
So what system do you use to manage that? What's it called?
A headache.
No, I just use Zipsale, and then we have our POS system is attached to Woo. So it'll come off Woo, which you can cross-list to on there, and that'll take it off everything else.
Interesting.
Before that, though, we were on Shopify, which was amazing. Their POS system was flawless, wasn't it? Yeah. Fantastic. But then they stopped letting you sell used things on there. So our website actually got taken down because the majority was used collectibles.
You can't sell used on Shopify.
You have to have a receipt of where it came from.
So I think it was when Disney bought a lot of the rights to stuff. So we were getting emails saying, "Can you provide the proof of purchases for all this stuff?" We were like, "No, because it's been
from
bought."
The car boot.
Yeah, you can't get a receipt at the car boot, can you? Really? So
no.
They said, we're gonna have to take the shop down. So
well, we chose to take.
Yeah, we chose to take it down before they were going to do it. That was a couple of years ago. So since then, we've moved on now to this new one.
It sounds like it works pretty well. I mean, that's a good little system, isn't it? So whilst you're at a stall, you've got your computer or your laptop and a scanner. Yeah. If something sells, you can scan it and it delists it everywhere.
That's it. Yeah, that's the magic.
That's amazing. I love that.
Yeah, a friend of ours was trying to work on an AI one for us, but he said it was too complicated, and he's really good at it.
How would AI help you in that situation?
Just to create a POS system all in one, kind of making it a Zipsale of themselves.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called.
We have to have Zipsale, and then we have to have Woo, but we don't actually use, we don't have a website. It's just kind of...
It's ghosted there.
Yeah, it's a ghost little line. We will get around to having a website.
We've got so many little apps all working together. We were just looking for that one app that's just mind-blowing, that works everything together.
Yeah.
Which was Shopify, but we haven't got that at the moment.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah.
I'm sort of trying to build a little Shopify store at the moment just to focus on sports jerseys that I sell. But it just worried me when you said you couldn't sell secondhand, because all mine are secondhand and I haven't had any problems. But I'm guessing it's because, the collectibles and stuff that you're selling is
I think that's what flagged it up.
It's just when they ask for the receipts that's the problem. But If you have a receipt for your bail or whatever, I'm sure they'd accept that anyway. It's just the car boot that was the problem.
The other option could have been like take down all of the used collectibles, shall we say, and just have all the new stuff on there. But we made the decision to move, didn't we?
What a shame, eh? It's annoying when you find something that really works well and then for some reason you have to stop using it. I mean, that's really frustrating.
Yeah.
When you're out, go on. Sorry, Beth.
It's because they had a lot of their own apps attached to Shopify, which are free.
Their own ones.
So we had to go and pay for them after that, which wasn't fun.
Yeah, that's the downside, isn't it? You got to pay for most of these apps out free that you've got to use.
Yeah, I found that with the thing with Shopify is right when they advertise, it's like
their plugins are great.
Bush bash bong, and you've got a bloody website up and running in itself. Well, that's a load of bollocks, that is, because it is so time consuming. Like, I'm just trying to set up my Shopify. I'm slowly building it. I'm trying to look at the SEO now because otherwise it's impossible to sell a damn thing on it. But you got to have a plugin for this, a plugin for that. And before you know it, you're paying, 50, 60 plus £100 a month just to get all your plugins.
Yeah. We lost we had a huge members section because whilst we were on there as well, we did a monthly mystery box. This was back in the days when we did the mystery boxes on the YouTube channel as well. And so everyone subscribed that wanted that, and it was a monthly subscription box, and that was a plugin that we used, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we got about over 1,000 people on our email list that were all interested and wanted to know what was going on, and we ended up losing the email list. You know what I mean? Of all people.
Jesus.
Yeah, so that was a massive downside.
And we lost our Facebook not long after
that.
that.
My Facebook got hacked, so we've got 2 pages now. So the original Demize Collectibles page had 4,000 followers, so we had to start again from the beginning, which was just
we've only got like 100 and something now.
That's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you're outsourcing, like at boot sales, charity shops, or whatever, like places like that, are you specifically looking for things for Comic-Con? Are you thinking, I'm definitely getting that because that's perfect for Comic-Con?
Sometimes we will go in with a mindset, but that's what we love about it. You just never know what you're going to find, do you?
No.
Like one day could be a clothing day. One day you get there and it's a collectibles day. You just don't know. It's just whatever's out there in the field, the mystery.
We'll go out saying like, this is what we're going to find today, and then we'll just find the opposite. So
I do. We love it when we find collectibles because that is our little niche thing.
That's like your little.
We really enjoy. But it's hard, isn't it? Like you don't really find that much stuff out there, and if you do, it's amazing.
It's hard, isn't it, to find like boxed figures and toys and stuff like that. You know, it's hard.
It tends to be that you'll find just one person who's having that clear out.
Yeah, if you can get that stall that's having a clear out, it's incredible.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, I was just reading me list there. When I had a note here about your mystery boxes.
It was called the Demize Power Up Pack. So it was a monthly subscription box, just packed full of collectibles.
Yeah, I've watched a couple of videos
all over YouTube about it as well.
Yeah, I've watched a couple of videos about them, and I've seen you sort of packing up loads. So how did that work? What were the contents of it?
So everyone got the same thing in the box, which was hard. When it started off at the beginning, it was great when it was low numbers, but as it grew, it was just hard to find because we were trying to compete with all the other mystery box sellers at the time. So we're talking like massive corporate businesses like Loot Crate and Zavvi and stuff like this. I don't know what we were thinking, but it was another one of our mad ideas. So we got it out there. We marketed it as $11.99. So it was like the cheapest mystery box.
That's pretty cheap.
And people loved it. They absolutely loved it, didn't they? It was great. Yeah. But again, it would just take over the house. There'd just be boxes everywhere and just be like getting all these items in. It was good at the time. And
never really made any money out of
it. Yeah, it was more of a fun promotional thing as well, to be honest, to drive traffic to the website rather than paying for advertisements and stuff like that.
Is that finished now?
Yeah, the Power Up Packs, that's gone. We did bring it back once.
Yeah.
And then we were like, no, what are we doing?
Too hard.
Too time consuming.
I would imagine that would be hard. Yeah, I mean, to do it for £11.99 as well. How many items did you get in those boxes?
It was usually 4 to 6 items.
Okay,
and we'd
that's
have people
like £2 an item.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't really make anything. It
No.
was just for fun.
Some
we
of the
had
boxes,
a kids one as well.
Yeah,
didn't
we branched out and did the kids one. Then we did the supercharger, which was like a £30 one as well. We had people subscribing to that one, and people used to do their unboxing videos and like say how much the stuff was worth, and it was always above value, so people were more than happy.
Yeah,
and sometimes I'd be really lucky to in York. We had a Disney store at the time, but it's long gone now. And they were always putting stuff on in the sale, so I could go in there, pick up, great cheap items in there. Sometimes worth more than what the box was worth, just the one item. So it was all on the hunt, the find. I'd always be looking out, finding stuff for the box.
Yeah.
And even at the car boot sale, I'd be sometimes lucky and find someone selling a load of bags, like a Marvel bag or something like that, and I'd buy them all for the box.
Yeah.
When we go to Comic-Cons, some of the stall, like the bigger stalls, they'd sometimes give us things like we had
people
artists
used to
that
donate
give us
stuff.
art.
Yeah, we'd incorporate like up and coming comic book authors. We'd get their stuff from Comic-Con. Like Beth was saying, the movie prints. Some people would donate their comics. Want authors that had just come out, publishers. So we'd bang them in as well.
Good idea, and if you can get that going and actually make a bit of money out of it, to have a subscription where you've got regular money coming in for products, even if that means that your profit margin is lower than normal, even if it's like double your money or whatever. But to have that subscription coming in every month, that's awesome.
Good.
You can do that.
Yeah.
And the YouTubers that used to unbox, they all actually paid for theirs as well. So that was always nice.
We did have to send a few free boxes out, obviously, to get going. To like the video.
Anyone had done a video? Where was mine?
we didn't know of you back then.
I love a good loot crate style.
Yeah.
I used to love it.
5-6 years ago.
I used to subscribe to Loot Crate, and I absolutely couldn't wait to get the next one, and especially the Loot Crate DX, which was the posh box, the big one.
Yeah,
I used to get some proper valuable stuff in there, like sort of glow-in-the-dark Godzilla figures and things like that. Absolutely loved them.
Yeah, Click Crates was another one, wasn't it? There was so many.
I used to
the Zavi one. HMV do it now. HMV have got about 10 different boxes at the moment.
They're trash. Absolute trash.
They are a bit shit, to be fair.
Yeah.
I nearly bought one at the weekend. I saw one in HMV in Chester, and they had a 5-pop and a pop key ring for 35 quid. And I thought, what's that? Sort of £6-7 a pop. Is it worth having a go?
Yeah. We used to do them as well, mystery pop boxes back in the day, but again, with anything, collectibles move on, don't they? We used to sell a lot of pops on the stand as well, but we don't even touch them now unless we're picking them up for a couple of quid. We'll only sell them for £5 on the stall anyway at Comic-Con now.
Yeah, it depends what it is, obviously. I like picking up pops and selling them. But
if it's a vaulted figure, fair enough.
Ideally, I don't like spending more than £3 on a pop, depending on what it is and stuff. But I'm just nipping into the chat here, guys, on the YouTube chat. A comment from Johnny Hayes. Do you know Johnny Hayes?
We certainly do. You're one of our average followers.
He says, what a great product. I found these guys at Pontin's Metal Fest.
Yeah, we did.
Yes.
We did a couple of.
We've done a lot of heavy metal festivals.
Well, just going back to the Comic-Cons and the festivals and the events, like that, for example, Metal Fest. When you decide to go to one of these or book on one of these events, do you tailor your stall for that particular event?
For the horror ones, yes, but not for those. Even for the heavy metal festivals, because the majority of people are into the collecting world as well. You'll find that they're not just all metal and nothing else. So we did Metal Hammer Festival. Metal Hammer Fest, Metal Hammer in the UK.
No, I don't know that one. I'm not really a metal person.
Oh, right, yeah. That's they still do that every year in Wales.
Yeah, Pontin's in Wales. Prestatin, that's it.
So it's like
that's just down the road.
Yeah, it's a holiday. It's a holiday festival. So everyone stays everyone there staying there. Long hours, really long hours.
And in the holiday mood, they got money to spend.
Yeah, and it's wild. It's open until about 4 a.m. and everyone's like intoxicated by those buying ridiculous things. So
and they're all staying in the.
It is good fun
in the accommodation. So
yeah. You don't get much sleep though because everyone's partying on an evening and stuff.
Right.
And then a week later, they have the sci-fi one.
Yeah, it's all run by the same company. So when you book that event, you do all three. You do the Metal Hammer Festival, Sci-Fi Weekender, and then you do like more of a mod rock one like the week after, don't they?
How many events do you think you do in a year, roughly?
We try to do one a weekend, if not two a weekend. But
peak season, we can do like 3 a month, sometimes maybe 4. I mean, peak season, they're on all over the place, all over the country. It just depends what kind of event you want. Do you want to sell at a smaller event, someone that's not more established, or are you going to go to the very top, the massive established events that get A-listers? Do you know what I mean?
You know those events, those big ones that have got all the stars there doing signings and stuff. What does it typically cost you for a stall at one of those?
You're looking at about £300 a table plus VAT.
Bloody hell!
And when our setup's about 5 to 6 tables, so it can get very expensive.
Yeah, we used to have more. We've tried to compress it.
This year we've downsized a bit now. Last year we were doing 5 tables at every event, weren't we? Yeah. So it's hard to make it work, like what you're going to take and stuff, because we've had to take some bits of stock off. All Beth's handmade jewelry we've had to take off because we've lost a table now. We've taken 2 tables off the stall now.
I've tried to make him squeeze them in, but
we do have some baskets of the stuff, don't we, on the stall?
Oh, my had.
But we had it all set up on grid walls before, so it was like forward facing, all in line of sight. Right. Now it's just in baskets on the table. If we brought the grid walls back, we'd then lose Monster High. No, I'm just saying, like, I'm sorry.
So, if you spent 300 plus VAT on a table at one of these big events, how much on average do you reckon you take?
We'll have to give this information out. But it's cost as well. It's not only that.
You don't have to answer it.
No, it's all right. There's the fuel cost, the time, preparation time beforehand. A really good big weekend turnover can be between 3,000 to 6,000.
Really?
A really big one. If you've got what people want as well, you can smash it, can't you?
You don't always know how much you're going to take as well. Like
it's so hit and miss.
When we went up to Aberdeen, and it was the furthest we'd ever gone.
It wasn't a strong show.
It wasn't a good show. So we'd spent all that money and travelled 8 hours to get there, and then not really
come out with a bit of extra cash. It's some of the you can do a 1-day event, a smaller family event, and absolutely smash it.
Yeah.
Or you can come home and it's just not worth it. So it is really hit and miss.
Yeah.
But you can definitely count on Liverpool Comic Con. That's without saying. Ireland Comic Con. Smash it there, don't we? For love of horror, that's always amazing.
Yeah.
I love
horror people spend the money.
It's a good show when they're already saying Saturday is completely sold out. We've got barely any tickets left for Sunday. You're talking like thousands and thousands of people are going to be there. It's already pre-sold out.
But wrestling fans, they don't spend any money.
For love of wrestling, that was a bit of a.
No, they're not.
Some shows are better than others.
Yeah. Wrestler, they're for the.
They're there for the signatures, and the signatures cost so much money.
Yeah,
so they don't have that much money left.
How hard is it to keep your? How hard is it to keep your stock levels up for these events? If you're doing 3 a month and you're selling like a couple of grand's worth potentially on a weekend, how hard is it to keep that level up?
It's hard, especially when you're having to. Some stuff will get on the stall and it won't even be. We'll have to make the decision of, do we put it through the process of putting it on the POS, or are we just going to get it straight on the stand kind of thing? And it's just too much of a headache. So we'll get a lot of stuff ready, and some stuff won't even make it out because it hasn't been processed. We'll just run out of time. Like it's ready, but it's not barcoded and put in the system. So we'll end up leaving some stuff behind, which is.
Well, you might have only bought some stuff like yesterday, and you've not had time to process it, and you just think that'll be perfect for today's event. Just bang it straight out. Sometimes
we have done that, haven't we?
We have, but then we've going through our stock check now, we found so many things that have been on the stall for like 2 years, and they would have sold online. So if it gets forgotten about, it's a hard thing to like, get your head around.
Yeah. But it's hard. It must be hard to keep on top of that. I can imagine, like, you know, you probably don't know whether you're coming or going sometimes with
it is time consuming. We have had some friends say to us, why don't you keep the stock separate? Like Comic-Con stock is, you know, it's not online, it's not on the POS, and it's just on the stall. And then, you know, your online stock is your
Have you thought about that?
We have, but then, you know, you're not going to make that money on it during the week, are you? Because all that stuff sells during the week as well.
Yeah.
But would it make life easier?
It would, up until it got to November, and you need to
no
be solely online, and then you've got to rush everything online, because we actually we used to do that and just have most of it on the stall until we got to COVID, and we actually missed out massively on the everyone else was having this huge boom because they were selling everything online, and we didn't have anything online.
None of our stuff was online,
and we were homeschooling 4 kids.
And I had to go out and get a part-time job as well over COVID, because we just were, you know, shows were cancelled across everywhere.
Yeah, of course.
That industry just died a death for a long time, over a year.
And because you have to prepay for shows, we lost about £5,000 in shows.
No, you didn't get any of the money back. It was just booked onto when it was back, if that made sense. So
you did eventually get the show back.
Yeah,
some of them went under over COVID.
Yeah.
I would imagine that's really difficult. But I guess with the split that you've got, the online and the Comic-Cons and the events, like if the events take precedence during the spring and summer, then when they come to an end, you go straight into Christmas online. So you've kind of
be ready. That's what Beth was saying.
Yeah,
it's all there.
That would be the danger, wouldn't it? That Christmas comes, the events end, but you've not got your stock listed online. So
I've got a shipping container full of all the Comic-Con stuff, and it's not online.
I can imagine that you guys must put in a hell of a lot of hours to keep this going.
I'm glad you said
all the hours.
No, I think there's not enough hours in the day, is there?
How many hours do you put in a day, do you think?
Morning till
night.
Day.
We'll break for school runs, we'll break for tea time, and then maybe a bit of TV time with the kids, or if it's a bank holiday or something, we will take it off and spend, you know, it's family day, completely shut it off. That's another reason why we've moved now, haven't we?
Into an office.
Past 6 months, we're actually working from somewhere else, because it was taking over to have it all around you and take over the entire house.
Taking over the house,
We did, but there's like 4 boxes here.
There's still stuff here. It's still creeping back in. But you can't do anything about that.
I think there always will be. I mean, I work solely from home and garage and all sorts. So
that's amazing. That's what I used to do. I loved it. If we could go back to it, I'd love to work from home again.
Yeah,
we've been looking at you know, move somewhere to a house that's big enough to work from home again. I'm all for it, because the cost, it's all cost, isn't it? The cost of renting an office and then shipping containers as well. It's all cost. If we could cut that out again, pay a little bit more rent somewhere on the house and cut out all of that, we would financially be much better off a month as well. Yeah.
Because we had a bigger house, but our landlord wanted to sell, so.
Yeah, we didn't have a choice. 14 years there, and then you know, we're back out again looking for somewhere. Yeah. So this could just be temporary where we are, in terms of where we're renting from, the 6 months at the business centre place where we are now. It's good for what we need at the time.
Yeah.
But ideally, I want to be back working from like a summer house or something. What do you think?
I've got quite used to that like gap in between though, because I've got ADHD. So many sellers do, but
it seems to be the thing, doesn't it?
But if I can see boxes in front of me of stuff to do, it just stresses me out. I can't stop thinking about it if I can see it.
That was another good thing. It was your headspace, wasn't it? Mentally, it's better to not.
I get that. Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah.
And then you're like, it's the death pile. There's another death pile.
Yeah. It's the same here. It's the same. As much as I clear death piles, it comes back within sort of weeks. Just while we wrap up the Comic-Con subject, because I am aware you've got a time constraint today. So just while we wrap this up, just finally, what are your best sellers generally when you're selling at a Comic-Con?
Marvel.
All the big
Anything
franchises. So Marvel Legends, Star Wars figures.
Comics or figures?
Oh yeah, comics. We sell
loads of
hell of a lot of comics. That's what we're stock taking at the moment at home. All of our comic boxes. We recently went to York Car boot sale and massively scored on vintage comics. We found some really good ones, didn't we? One of them was 60p, £240 comic. So that was a banger. Really wasn't it? Yeah. It's amazing when you can pick up stuff like that.
So you reckon the sort of standard Marvel sort of boxed figures and stuff is the main sort of staple thing that you would
any little nicky-nacky cheap stuff. We'll try and cater for everyone. So we'll have our high-end collectibles, but then we'll also have our pocket money bins under the stall. We're talking like free £2 figures, do you know what I mean? Loose, right up to like cased figures that are worth a lot more. So we try and cater for everyone.
Yeah, because the thing is with Comic-Cons is some people have gone there and they've spent absolutely tons of money on their ticket and on their signatures, and they're not going with a lot of money. And if you can get those people to part with like the £2-3 in the pocket, then you're getting that extra.
Our enamel pin badges, we've always done 2 for £5. People flock to the stall just to get bags of them. They walk away happy because they've got little tokens.
Just sit all day putting them back on.
Usually one of us will have to sit there like putting them back on as fast as possible while the other one's serving all day.
It's really interesting to hear about your Comic-Con experience, and thank you for sharing it. It's definitely something different that we've encountered on the channel. So thank you so much for that.
And not just that, toy fairs as well. We've done toy fairs, but that's more of, it's not really the same kind of. It's more. You think of toy fair, you think of like an older audience, don't you?
Trains.
It's not got trains,
trains and matchbox cars and stuff.
It's changing.
It is changing. A friend of ours is trying to bring it to the new age. Zuxus, he's doing more of like trying to bring.
It's Zucker.
Zucker, sorry. He's trying to bring toy fairs into the new age, like more entertainment stuff, more like with Comic-Cons, because you've got all the entertainment, haven't you? And you've got all the guests, you've got all the free gaming, you've got all the set builds.
Yeah.
You've got, there's loads going on. Whereas at a toy fair, it's just toys, even though that's cool, but you're not getting
no added extras.
Yeah, you're paying to get in, but you're not getting anything else. Whereas a Comic-Con, you're getting loads.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You have to change with the collector age as well, because it's like whoever's the collector is in their 30s to 40s with that extra little bit of cash, and those people are forever changing. Like they're changing now into a more Marvel, Star Wars era. So the older crowd are getting rid of their collectibles. So
the cosplay scene's exploded as well at Comic-Cons now, especially with anime. It's absolutely exploded. So we try and get as much anime stuff on the stall as we can.
Always good. Always good.
It's a big audience for that now, isn't there?
We don't much know about it.
Talking about boot sales and YouTube, now I've noticed you seem to get yourself to a lot of boot sales.
He does.
Well, cheers.
I don't get out.
If I can get Beth out of bed, I'll try and get to some. If we can, I'll just go alone. But I've always loved going to boot sales as a kid. I've got really nice memories going with my dad and my mum to all the local ones. So it's always come from there, really. And I just love going out there and just seeing what you can find.
Have you had any particularly big wins?
We have. It's just trying to remember them all.
I'm terrible at remembering stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you can think of anything that you can share.
One of my personal favourites, I found this Punisher figure that was discontinued. It was taken off the shelves because it actually changed into a gun. And where the gun's placed, the barrels in somewhere like, I don't know how to word it.
It looked like
it looked like a male. Member, let's say.
One of them, right?
I only paid a couple of pounds for it, but I sold it on Etsy for about £60. Really nice little find.
And it's right in your niche as well, which is cool.
Yeah,
when you find something really nice and it's what you love picking up.
We found some great clothing items as well, and we've found
charity shop. We found a £3 t-shirt that was a old designer, like back before they made it. So it was good pricing, but that still hasn't sold.
Yeah,
we've got a couple of things that are good that haven't sold. Yeah.
You sell clothing as well, do you? You pretty much sell anything.
We sell everything.
Yeah, that's just one of the things we
online.
broke into like maybe 2 years ago because we never.
Yeah.
We just used to see it and be like, oh, that'll be good for someone else.
Yeah,
they'll make money on that.
Just trying to figure out ways to ramp up the business, because if it's one person just doing it full time, you know, that's probably enough. But when there's two of us doing it, and we've got the whole family to support as well, we've got to be making double what maybe one person would be doing it. So it has been hard, and we just got to get as many sources of income going. So we're like, let's go for it and see. And we listed all this stuff that we wouldn't normally buy, and then within days, you know, your phone's pinging. You're like, oh, that new item sold that we just bought, and that's just sold.
Yeah.
So it's awesome to see it going. And we're like, let's just go for it and do it.
And when you're waiting for another Comic-Con to come along, it's like
it's like all extra money, all
coming in the meantime, which is really nice. What I've noticed about your channel, guys, is you do something a bit different at your boot sales when you're filming that not many other people do. And that is, you are literally like walking through a boot sale, camera out, talking to the camera. Everybody can see that you are filming. Everyone can see that you are literally there filming for whatever. Whereas there's not many people that do that. Most people will have their GoPro on or whatever. They might talk to it like privately, like, oh, I'm going to.
I'll still wear it on my chest as well. I'll still do that.
But not many people will have it front out, clear to see, you know, selfie mode. The pair of you saying, oh, we're at York Car Boot and we're going to do this and that. And, you know, everyone's can see it. Now, that's pretty unusual. Do you ever, what's the reason you went down that route? And do you ever get any problems doing it like that?
He's the one that
I don't really mind. At first, I was really like, is it divert?
Covert.
Yeah, I was like sneaking around, like, and then as I got used to it, I think I just became more comfortable with it. And then I was like, I'm here filming anyway. And I just think it's got more layers to a video. So I just like the camera angle and the POV kind of view of it as well.
I like it. I think it differentiates you a bit from other channels. I think it's good. Do you get any problems with like the organisers at boot sales when you're doing stuff like that?
Never.
They want us to do it.
Yeah,
they've always like asked us if they could share videos and stuff.
And if someone doesn't like it on their stall, I'll always say, you know, they'll say, oh, can you not film? And I'll be like, yeah, no problem, that's fine.
Yeah, I think if you're more obvious with it, then if someone doesn't want to be filmed, they know you're doing it, and they're not going to like come and have to find you afterwards and ask you to take it down.
In particular stalls, I'll say, do you mind me filming? And they're like, yeah, go on, it's fine. Yeah, I'll just click go and start filming.
I think the thing about us as well is we actually met at music college. We're both singers, like both in bands, and so we're both front people. And
we're used to being at the front, aren't we? I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
But people do look at you if that's what you're saying when you're out and about, and like when I'm editing, you'll see people like give you the death stare kind of thing. But it's the modern age now, isn't it? So everyone's on the phone anyway, aren't they? Or when you're walking around doing anything or doing something. So
I think it's really interesting that you do it like that. I think it's a good way of doing it if you're confident enough to do it. Some boot sales can be a bit funny about filming. I've got one local to me who I filmed a few, and then one day they stopped me and said, "Are you filming at this boot sale?" I said, "Well, yeah, I'm not covert. I've got a bloody great camera on my shoulder. Everyone can see it. You know, I'm not wearing Ray-Ban glasses.
The filming glasses.
Yeah, I'm not wearing those." But you know, and they said, "Well, would you mind not filming because somebody said they don't like being on camera?" So I'm like, oh, "Really? All they have to do is tell me. All they have to do is say, please don't film me, and I'll take it off." And in any case, I always film down. You know,
we've always done that as well.
I try not to film people as far as possible. But that's frustrating when that happens.
Or if someone says, just blur me out, and I'll be like, yeah, that's fine, I can do that.
Yeah.
Click on the button.
If I happen to be doing a deal and there's kids on camera, I always ask, is it okay if I use that footage?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Kids on it, you know, and normally it's okay. But yeah, that is one thing that I do. But I think it's a great way of doing it. And I enjoy the the point of view that you're giving when you're going through a boot sale, that complete openness, filming, everyone can see it. I like that. It makes it a bit more like, you know, a TV program, or a bit more cinematic, if you like. I don't know if that's the right word, but
documenting the boot sale.
a bit more documentary
Yeah,
style.
we always show as well, like when we at the end we'll show what we've bought, and then we'll show what it actually is listed for as well. You know, in the corner, so people get a real representation of what we bought and what the potential seller is at the end.
We used to guess, but then we'd find out that something was actually worth loads, and it would have been way more exciting to have been able to tell people that. So now we list it beforehand so that we can actually give a proper price on it.
And that's another thing to put into your mix of work, right? You're doing Comic-Cons and toy fairs and events, you're doing online selling, you got all that to manage, you got all these kids as well to deal with, and now you've got YouTube, which you're putting you're putting seriously regular content out. I don't really know how you managed to fit all that in.
We've had to cut down a day. I've had to force him to cut off a day.
I absolutely love it, but we've cut down to 2 videos a week now. Yeah. Ideally, I love doing 3, but while it's Comic-Con season, we've got to focus on getting stuff ready for that, which is a shame because it's car boot season, isn't it? And there's plenty to get out there and film, but
you did
do what you're told.
You did help me out though, because I actually didn't know about Fiverr and getting the VA. Oh yeah, I watched the video. So now I have a VA to take a little bit of work off.
He has smashed the file. So
you've got a VA, and how are you finding it?
It's really good. He's actually probably too fast for me because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I have to check everything first.
I always check everything anyway.
Yeah, and I do my own pricing as well. So
yeah, I do.
I have to go through, like, he'll have tons ready for me, and then he'll be like, "Can I have more?" And I'm like, "No, I've got to sort this bit out first."
Yeah. So even Chris agrees we're an underground channel. I've always joked with Beth about that, but that's really good to know. I like being the
underground. Hopefully you'll be overground now.
Like,
so loads of videos. People need to check out your channel, definitely. Do you do much? I've seen a couple of videos about charity shops. Do you do much in charity shops?
We did when it was not when car boot season's over. We hit the charity shops, didn't we? And we just filmed the other boot sales that were open all year round, but it's not as good, is it? So we went into charity shops quite a lot when it was out of season.
Also, like, one of our favourites is next door to the Yodel drop-off. So
when you're dropping your Yodels off,
gotta go and have a quick look, aren't you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Always come back with something, don't I?
We keep saying that we're going to have, because obviously it's both of our interest is reselling, so it's something that we do together, and we can happily sit and relist whilst we're watching TV and things like that.
Yeah.
But we were saying we were going to have like a date day where we go just charity shopping as well. So
yeah, that's our date.
That's your date day.
Yeah. Well, we don't consider the buying work. That's the most fun part.
I know. I'm the same. I mean, me and Belle went on kind of a date day the other week. We went to Chester, and obviously we went around charity shops and stuff. But yeah, it's still considered that bit the fun part.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, our day off is, you know, at the car boot sale on Sunday if we're not at a Comic-Con.
Yeah.
That's what I like. That's what we like to do. What I like to do anyway. You like the car boot sale. There's certain car boot sales that Beth loves to go to, certain ones that she doesn't enjoy. So.
I like the ones where they start at lunchtime.
Yeah.
Okay.
Flat.
What about working as a couple then? Do you have responsibilities that you are, you know, split between you?
Certain jobs have just like fallen into place, like that we haven't chosen. Like Beth will be better at something than I am, and I'll be better at something than Beth. So it's just
what things do you each do for sure? Definitely, it's that person's job.
Well, Danbo's got dyslexia, so I have to do all the admin and things like that.
Yeah, Beth does all the accounts and stuff like that. I can't do anything like that. And then
I'll do the rest.
You were going to say that. I don't do anything.
I can't edit, so you do.
Yeah, I'll do all the digital aspects to the side. Beth will do some more social media kind of stuff, but we'll photo and list together.
Yeah.
And certain jobs, it depends as well. Like if it's Beth, if we'll get a ton of Monster High, that's Beth's thing, so it'll go straight to Beth's department, and she'll sort all that out. If it's something that I know more of, I'll sort that out. Sorry, my voice is starting to go.
And do you find any challenges in working together as well?
Well, it's like anything, isn't it? There'll always be challenges, I guess. But we've always done it, so it's what we know, isn't it? It's what we're used to now.
Is it fairly smooth?
Yeah, if he does my head in, I'll go have a bath. Or
Or try and
edit a video.
Try and get out of each other's hair. If we have some downtime, my downtime's editing videos, or I might get some chance to put the Xbox on. Beth will bang the PlayStation on. What? Yeah, you've got a couple of games that you like playing. When the kids go to bed, we might like have an hour. Very rarely have an hour to do that, but
yeah, there's always someone around.
What's your business? What's your business setup? How are you set up, sort of business wise? Like partnership, limited company?
It's a partnership. Yeah. We did look into the limited company thing, but that was just an absolute headache. Our accountant was like, "Don't do it."
We did it for about a month, and it just caused trouble. So
no, I'm not doing that again. So as it is now, it's fine, isn't it? There's no need to do anything with it.
It works well for you.
Yeah, it does. It's good. It's a good working relationship, isn't it?
So what do you think's next? What's coming up for 2025 for the Demize family business?
We just need more time, like everyone else, more hours in a day.
Work out how to not sleep. That would be really helpful.
It's finding the balance of working smart, not hard, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, I think
if you can make a job easier.
Yeah, bringing in the VAs been really helpful, and we've now got through our whole death pile, which was absolutely insane. We've got a video on it where it's just an entire storage unit, because last year we went and got tons and tons of stock to get us through winter, which we planned on listing all through winter, and we were going to be fine. And then we had to move house, so it got really bad.
Yeah, right.
So that's all online now. So
and then we've had like up and down with health and stuff, but it is what it is, isn't it? It's the same with everyone, I guess.
Does your VA list anything, or do you send them certain things? I tend to send mine clothing mainly.
Yeah, mine. He likes clothing, and if I try to give him anything else, he will just divert to the clothing.
Yeah, but, I find the same.
I've said to him, I'm getting really low on clothing now, and if you want to carry on doing jobs, would it be okay if I added a couple more bits? So he's going to give it a go.
Yeah, branching out a bit. He's good at what he does. I think we're on number 3. Is it number 3 or 4?
Got 3. Yeah, it was number 3.
Yeah, the third one was the best one. So
I was the same. I went through 3 before I settled on one that you have to kind of. I find that you have to kind of train them to your way of listing, because they know how to list like on a basic level, but then they don't know the little things that you like in like the way you do your title, that you want X, Y, and Z. Like I want the size in this particular area, and I always want the brand at the start. It's things like that and telling them, like I always found, like I like to use the item specific theme. I like to use theme and just put as many different keywords in there as possible. So it's kind of like things like that you kind of have to get them to think about, and it takes time to get somebody who lists like as well as, not perfectly, because you're never going to get a perfect listing, to the point where like I can, when my VA's done a few listings, I can just scan it. I might tweak something in the title. I might say, actually, you know what, I might move that to the start or that to the end. I might tweak it and just check the item specifics, check the description, and list. And that's my aim, is for that to all. But that's the only thing I need to do. I don't want to have to do any more than that. But
and I think I'm a bit timid when it comes to being like, can you change this? So I need to be a bit more of a boss.
Yeah.
But
I'm just gonna have to go get my eye stuff. Bear with me.
So Dambo's actually had an eye transplant. So
all right,
that's one of the things that was
an eye transplant.
Yeah, in January, was it? So that's another thing that
December,
made us...
yeah.
Wow.
Oh, it's December, yeah.
Yeah,
What
Ugh.
happened there?
Well, I've got this thing called keratoconus.
It's not keratoconus, it's keratoconus.
Keratoconus. It's eye disease. It's just deterioration of the eye. So your sight just... I was really lucky they caught it when they did, because they managed to correct the right eye. So I had what was called a kettering, where they put a lens under the eye.
Okay.
And that keeps it as it is. But then the sight had pretty much, it was gone. And there was no other way of sorting it out without getting a transplant put in.
Wow.
So that's another reason we got mega behind.
So that set us behind. And then lost my license for a bit, because you can't drive. Do you know what I mean?
Bloody hell.
It's fallen below the driving standards of being able to see. So I'll pop an old man at the wheel. Like,
How is it now? How's it coming up?
It's getting there. I can drive again. I got my license back, because that would have been a nightmare.
Without glasses as well, it's actually better
Yeah,
than it
yeah.
was.
So once it's settled down, I can get glasses again, and then finally seeing HD.
Yeah.
And but no, that'd be soul destroying, not being able to drive, because I'm the one that drives. So that'd be Comic-Cons out the window, car boots out the window.
Yeah.
We'd be stuck just online sourcing, wouldn't we?
We were very lucky that the operation was in our down season. So.
Yeah, the operation was the perfect time when Comic-Con was over.
Did it take a long time to have it done and recover?
I'm still recovering now. I'm 4 months in. It's still blurry, but the recovery was pretty bad, wasn't it? Like I'm sure you can imagine. It's sewn on, so I've still got stitches for a year, and I'm on steroids for a year as well, so it doesn't reject, because that can happen too. It's horrifying.
It's not going to like pop out at any point, is it?
I'll show you a really cool trick.
No.
Yeah.
Oh well, I'm glad it went well for you. That is incredible that you can. I mean, I know you can transplant almost anything now, but you know, have an eye transplant, that's amazing.
Yeah, I could have just not had anything done and gone onto the blue badge, but you know, why would I do that? I wouldn't have been everything would have been taken away from me, really. And to be like that for the rest of your life, you know, sight's important, isn't it? So
yeah, absolutely. Will that transplant be okay for the rest of your life, or what's?
Hopefully, yes. I do actually have a friend, which is really crazy. My friend Lauren, she's got the same thing, which is pretty mad. And she's actually had hers redone, because hers rejected after about 8 years, I think. So it is a bit worrying, yeah.
Mm. Well, I guess you can't worry about it until it happens. So.
Yeah. At the moment, it's stabilised and it's all good, so make the most of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Let me go to more car boot sales.
No, that's amazing. That is amazing. I hope it all goes well in the future. Right, we're going to start wrapping up, because I know you guys have got stuff to do. I've got 2 questions to finish off.
That's gone so fast. I was enjoying
I know we're on an hour and 7 minutes. 2 questions for you. If you could go back in time and give yourself a piece of reselling advice, what would that be?
Don't sell all of your WWF vintage Hasbro carded collection for beer money as a student. That's one, because those have skyrocketed in price. Unbelievable how much they are.
Don't leave your stock check till a week before a Comic-Con. It's a really good one.
Yeah.
I avoid stock takes.
You never know what's going to go up in value, do you? Sorry, it's really loud. Someone's flying over. I don't know if you can hear that. You never know what's going to go up in value. Do you know what I mean? If you knew at the time to be buying certain things, what they would have gone up in value, you would have.
Oh yeah, but you can. I don't think you can hang on to things too much, because not only do you not know what the future holds for it, but the amount of things you could have bought with the money that you've sold that item for, rather than putting it in your loft. You know, even if you get £20 for something, and in 10 years it could be worth £100, but that £20 you've turned over and you know, 20, 30 times, and made a ton more than £100 that you'd get 10 years later. So I don't really believe in lofting things.
The other way as well, like
It's stuff can
was
devalue.
it Black Adam was actually quite popular until they did the movie, and then it bombed.
Couldn't sell the comics
and now
anymore.
no one wants it. So you never know.
Yeah, some of it can be destroyed by a TV series as well.
Right.
We've got some nice stuff in our collection as well, haven't we? Our personal collection.
Yeah.
So keep on. We've sold some, but certain bits we'll keep.
Yeah. Keep hold of it until you feel it's ready to go.
Yeah.
If I give you £100 right now, what are you likely to spend it on?
Comics or probably some Monster High figures as well. Some Monster High dolls. Done really well on them. Really well.
Yeah, I buy Monster High like pretty much naked, and I've got all the bits and put them all back together. So,
what makes them so sought after and valuable? Monster High stuff.
It's just that era of getting into the collecting now. They were children who had the dolls, and now they're adults who want them back again.
Exactly.
And,
it's the whole I want my toys back kind of thing.
Yeah.
And also those dolls were massively used for customizing, for like cosplay and stuff like that. So because of that, more of them were used and taken out of the market as well.
Yeah, people repaint them, and then people will want the originals, and people still do repaint them as well. We get
some of the dolls we're finding naked and putting them together and flipping them for £80-200.
Right, I'm looking out for Monster High from now on.
It's hard to find them now. Really is. Right, it really is. I saw someone's video not that long ago. They picked up a load of boxed figures, and then we almost fell over because they go for mega money now. Not the new ones because they've been re-released. They managed to find some originals in the boxes, and we were just.
But you wouldn't want to have
shouting at the screen, weren't we?
You wouldn't want to have the back stock that I have. I have like 6 or 7 boxes of like shoes.
Huge boxes just full of spares. That's a lot of our businesses. We've got boxes and boxes of spares because we know we can find it and put it together.
Yeah.
Oh, before we finish, I've got a question from Jeff in the YouTube chat. Thank you, Jeff. Do either of you have a favorite celebrity you've met at Comic-Con?
Probably, yeah. I met Atreyu from Neverending Story. He was really cool, and I was so happy to meet him because that was one of my favorite films as a kid. You know, Neverending Story.
Yeah, I love it.
One of our kids is called Atreyu. We love it very much.
And he was such a nice guy as well. I had a really good laugh with him. He was cool.
What about Beth?
It's hard to leave the stall as well. You know, you can go meet anyone. Some of the guests, you know, they've had like Ewan McGregor, who plays, Obi-Wan. He was at the last Scotland Comic-Con. So if you want to go meet him, you can. You just have to pay the price to go meet him.
Right.
Go get a signature.
But if you're a stall holder, you do normally get queue jumps.
Yeah,
so
queue jumps good.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Have you met anyone, Beth, that you particularly like?
You have been starstruck before with a few people.
Oh, who's the guy who was a Death Eater in Harry Potter?
Oh yeah, one of the Death Eaters from Harry Potter.
I can't think what he's called, but he's very pretty too.
Yes, sometimes you just don't know what to say to him. You're just like, oh, you know, I'm obsessed with this person, but yeah.
We was down in Devon once when we lived down there. Where were we? I think we were in like Teignmouth or something. And we was walking down the street, and across the road was walking Steve Merchant was walking across the road with his girlfriend or whatever. And I said to Bella, Steve Merchant over there. And she shouted out to him across the road. She waved at him and she went, "Love your work." And he went, "Thank you."
Yeah, that's cool.
How embarrassing.
They're still normal people like me and you at the end of the day, aren't they? So
yeah. We have a singer from a band called Skindred, and he comes and finds us whenever he comes to York.
Yeah, they're from Wales.
Yeah, he used to, when we had the market stall, he'd come to the market stall every single time to come say hi. So
nice.
He was lovely.
Yeah, it's good. It's just building up them relationships. That's what it's all about, isn't it? In anything, we've always worked on we've been ourselves, haven't we? And trying to be as nice as possible to people. And it's worked with our boot as well, hasn't it? We've always been nice, please and thank you.
Yeah.
Kindness goes a long way, doesn't it? You know.
Definitely. Absolutely. Yeah. It's a good note to end on. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you joining us on the podcast. Thank you very much for reaching out. You've got a new subscriber in me, and hopefully a few more people in the chat or a few more people listening might go and subscribe. Where can people find you?
Demize Family on YouTube.
You can find us everywhere.
Yeah. We're on most platforms. Demize Collectibles on Facebook, but there is 2 pages.
The smaller group.
The smaller page is the one that we're using now, because the other one is just floating in the space that we can't get back.
That's annoying, isn't it?
So Demize Family on YouTube if you're into car boots, Comic-Cons, and all things reselling and geek, really.
Yeah, on Demize York on TikTok.
Yeah,
but
don't really use the TikTok that much.
I'm trying.
Yeah, that's
I'm
best.
trying as well. I'm trying, and you know, get a few good videos, and then there's only so many platforms you can operate on.
Yeah.
Before it just clogs you down with stuff.
Yeah.
It's time consuming as well, isn't it?
It is.
So
Right.
YouTube, enjoy that. Do the YouTube.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And a big thank you to Fleek, who are our sponsors of the podcast. You can use the code RFD-carbootChris, all capitals, for a discount on your first order if you fancy it. I can recommend them. I use them myself. And that is it for this week. Our final podcast for Series 5 is coming up this Monday. It's another reselling couple. So that should be interesting. And that is it. Thank you, everybody watching on YouTube. Appreciate you being here. Thank you, everybody listening on the audio platforms. Don't forget to hit that download button, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
That's it for today's episode of the Everything Reselling podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, to follow, or to subscribe wherever you're watching or listening to this podcast. And we'll see you on the next episode.